So in this video, we're going to work with our original no-edit worksheet by making a copy of it and renaming it text. And here you'll notice I've made a few changes. I've grouped a few columns, and I've also included a few column headers in row 1. And just as a recap, I'll show you how to group these columns. We're going to go to the columns that we want to group. So in this case, I want to group Q through V. And I can use the group tool on the data ribbon. In order to group those columns. And then I want you to rename cells P1 through AD1. And in order to provide that list, I'm going to use the transpose feature in Excel to do that. So I'm going to select the data that I want copied, and then I'm going to go to the cell that I want to use it in. So for example, I'm going to copy this data in cell V8. And if I hold down Control, Alt, and hit the letter V, and you see different options here. If we just wanted to paste the values, we could hit the letter V. In this case, we're going to transpose the data. So I'm going to take the data that's in a row format and change it to a column format. So you'll notice the E in transpose is underlined. So if I just hit the letter E, that'll select that option. And if I hit Enter, you'll see that data is transposed. So go ahead and pause the video and group columns C through F, I through O, Q through V, and rename the cells in row 1, P through AD with those names there. And now I've grouped those first two groups for us to see the company name, the phone number, and the address. And the first thing we're going to do is work with this length function. So here we see it's going to return the number of characters in a text string. And so here what I'm going to do is determine the length of the number of characters in cell G2. It's a phone number that includes an area code, so the number 10 makes sense. And if I fill down, you'll notice that all of these phone numbers are 10 characters. If I were to change this to column H, you would see a difference in the length of these cells. And so in the phone number, it's pretty straightforward. There are no spaces and there are 10 digits. What we might notice here is that the length is going to include any spaces that are in that cell as well. So for example, in cell H2, it's going to count all of those spaces between our street number and our street name. So between 320 and Fowler. I'm going to change this back to our phone number. And now we can work with this left function. And what it's going to do is pull the text from the beginning of that text string. It's going to return a specified number of characters from the start of a text string. So in this case, if I wanted to pull the first 3 numbers from that phone number, for the area code perhaps, I would choose the text that I want to pull from, in this case G2. And then I would tell it the number of characters it needs. In this case, we want the first 3 for the area code. And it's going to pull the area code. If I fill down, you'll see that we have some area codes that are 555, some that are 662, some that are 888. The right function is similar to the left in that it's going to give us a particular set of characters from a text string. And so in this case, if we had a list of phone numbers, and the last 4, for example, might be extensions, and we just want those extension numbers, we could simply pull the last 4 characters of each one of those phone numbers. And so in this case, I'm going to tell it to look in cell G2 and pull the right 4 characters. And so we can see here that we've pulled the right 4 numbers. Our mid function is going to allow us to pull a certain number of characters given a starting point in a text string for a certain number of characters. And so here I'm just going to start with the 4th character, and I'm going to pull 7. So that's going to give us the entire number. So you'll notice here that we've pulled the numbers for the regular phone number, not including the area code. That also highlights one of the advantages with formatting in Excel. Even though we have our phone number displayed as an area code inside of parentheses, the number that's stored in cell G2 is just a series of these 10 digits, right? So the formatting is just going to show us what we want to see, but the value in the cell is actually going to be just a straight 10 digits. Now we're going to use the proper function, which is going to allow us to work with the capitalization of a text string. Our proper function is going to capitalize the first letter in each word in a text string, and it's going to make all the other letters in that word lowercase. So in this case, we're going to work with the address, or cell H2. And you'll notice that regardless of what's in our cell, so for example, we see in column H that Lynbrook was capitalized completely. And now we'll notice that using our proper function, it's in proper case. And now we can look at our upper function, which is going to capitalize all the text in a string. So now you see we've converted all of that text into uppercase. Our lower function is going to do a similar process, and it's going to make everything lowercase. And so we might use these three functions whenever we're working with data that maybe a customer typed into a form on a web page. They might be inconsistent in how they type in these addresses. And so we could use this if we wanted to create our own mailing list or have an accurate representation of these actual addresses, and not those that are filled with errors from a customer typing them in. So now I'm going to group these other cells. And so we're going to use the find function in order to find a comma, and we're going to look at our address. Anytime we're working with text in a function in Excel, we have to use quotations. So I want to find a comma, and you'll notice that in this cell, I'm still working with the find text function, and then after this comma that's outside of the quotations, it's within text. And so that's going to be the cell that I'm going to look in. And you'll notice here that our comma is the 22nd character in. And we also notice here that we got an error message in cell W10. The reason there's an error message is because we asked Excel to find characters that weren't there. You'll notice in the address in cell H10 that there's no comma. And so if we asked Excel to find a comma and there isn't one, that's going to return an error. And so maybe there's use in finding where a comma is in a particular text string, but we're going to use that in combination with these other functions that we've already talked about. So in cell X2, I'm going to use a combination of left and find. So what I'm going to do is use the left function in order to find all the text before that comma. So I want to look in cell H2. And here you see we have to search for a number of characters. And I wanted to keep the characters that are everything before that comma. I want it to fluctuate depending on what cell that we're in. And so we're going to use the same find function that we used before. And so this tells us we want to look within cell H2. And we want to return all the text, the number of characters, and it's going to count all the way up to that comma. And so if we were working with an address and we wanted to pull everything before that first comma, this might be a way to do it. But you'll notice here that at the end of all this, it's going to include every comma that we have in those cells. And so our street address isn't going to be the street address plus a comma. So we want to get rid of that comma. And all we need to do is think about how we want to stop one character short of that. So if I go back in and hit F2 in order to work with this cell, I want to change the number of characters, and I'm just going to subtract 1 from here. What that is going to do is stop 1 short of that comma. And so now you see that we have the address, and it looks a little bit cleaner because we don't have any of those commas. So if we're going to try to find these dash marks and these ampersands, we're going to have to work with a different column. So we're going to work with column F. You'll notice that column F has our industry classification within it based on our SIC code. And we see that there are different symbols here. So for example, in F2, we have an ampersand. And in F3, we have that dash mark that we're going to be looking for. And so if we're going to try to pull information from a text string, for example, in cell F2, and we're looking for a dash mark, we would expect to get an error because there's not one there. We would be asking Excel to look for a dash mark that doesn't exist, so we're going to get an error message. Likewise, in cell F3, if we look for an ampersand, we should expect an error message there. And what should happen is that in the cells that we're looking for an ampersand, we should get everything before that. And in the cells that we're looking for a dash mark, we should get everything before that. So I'm going to work with both ampersands and dash marks using column F. And so the first thing I'm going to do is copy the text from cell X2. I'm going to activate that cell and hit F2 in order to edit that formula. I held down Control and Shift and hit the left arrow several times. So now we have this formula copied, and there's a few things that we need to do. First, we need to make sure that we're referencing column F. We also need to make sure that we change that comma into a dash mark. Here we still get that same error, and that's what we expect because in column F, for this particular company, there is no dash mark. We'll notice, however, in row 3 that we get the word services, and that makes sense because that's what appears before that dash mark. And so there might be uses for this when we have consistent formatting. And now we can adjust this cell to find our ampersand. And again, we'll notice that we have these values here. So in this case, it means that cell F2 has an ampersand in it, and we're grabbing everything before that ampersand. And in this column, I'm just going to make a copy of column H. So I'm going to set this equal to column H just so we can see the data we're working with again. So again, for our address, if I wanted to find everything before that first comma, I could. I subtract off 1 here to make sure we don't include that comma. And so again, we have our values here. And now I'm going to copy the values that are in column AB into column AC. So in this case, I filled right. And in this case, we're getting an error message for all of these cells because we're trying to look in cell AB and there's no comma in there. I'm going to change this to a W. So we're going to search for a W here, and I'm going to make it a capital W. And we'll notice a couple of things. First, we'll notice that even though we wanted to find a W, find is going to be case sensitive. So because we used a capital W, it did not find that lowercase w. And we'll notice in this cell that we have everything before that uppercase W because we used a -1. So we're going to find everything before that. If we were to edit this cell and we were to change this to a lowercase w, then we would find what we were looking for. And so maybe there's a different way to do that. We're going to use the search function here. So in this case, I'm going to replace the text for find with search. So here I'm just going to replace the word find with search. And when I hit enter, you'll notice a difference. In this case, we'll see that search is not going to be case sensitive. And so in some cases, that's going to work better than find, but in other cases, you might want it to be case sensitive. So you should use the formula that's going to work best for your particular situation. You'll also notice that we have an error here. Again, if we're asking it to find text that doesn't exist, it cannot return a value. And when working with data in Excel, it's also possible we want to use the trim function. And our trim function is going to remove all spaces except for one between all words in a text string. So here you see the difference in the two columns. In column AE, we removed all those extra spaces. So for example, if you look in rows 14 and 20, you'll see a lot of extra spaces. And in our new column, we've eliminated those spaces.